The following is a special presentation of the SciFi Channel.
Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, welcoming you to the SciFi Channel's presentation of The Empire Strikes Back. Some of you may recognize me as Lando Calrissian from this film. Lucas's epic vision of tomorrow set a standard for all to follow, paving the way for the big-budget science fiction space spectaculars we now take for granted. Having established credibility for his characters with Star Wars, Lucas pulled out all the stops for The Empire Strikes Back, perhaps crafting an even finer film in the process. By revamping the time-worn techniques of stop-motion animation and precision matte painting, George Lucas pushed the envelope in every way imaginable, giving us one of the most fully realized visions of the future ever committed to film. Now the SciFi Channel proudly presents George Lucas's The Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for George Lucas's incredible Star Wars sequel, The Empire Strikes Back. The ice planet Hoth was populated by all sorts of strange creatures, such as the Tauntauns and Wampas, which were manufactured as mechanized puppets and then filmed. Bringing these puppets to life required precise stop-motion animation. This technique produced a large amount of wear and tear, but resulted in a fluidity of movement that made the process well worth the effort. Now let's return to The Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for The Empire Strikes Back. Of course, bringing one of the puppets to life was largely due to the simple human touch of finding the right voice. Frank Oz of the Muppets added an element to Yoda's voice that was irreplaceable by man or machine. Now, more of The Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for the SciFi Channel's special presentation of The Empire Strikes Back. Such attention was paid to detail that it became the first science fiction film ever to show the corrosive effects of traveling through outer space. Now let's return to The Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for The Empire Strikes Back. The stop-motion animation and filming for the walkers alone required a 15-month work schedule. Was it worth it? You be the judge, as we continue with more Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for The Empire Strikes Back. The character Lando Calrissian is a handsome rogue. Lando and Han Solo were running mates, gamblers, smugglers, you know, typical opportunists. Lando may be a misunderstood hero, but also he's a romantic one, showing both sides of a man, the good and the bad, making him always unpredictable and, of course, quite charming. Now let's return to The Empire Strikes Back, here on the SciFi Channel. I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for George Lucas's incredible The Empire Strikes Back. This film was shot mostly in Finse, a frozen region of Norway. It had previously been used by explorers and military forces for training. It now served as the major location for the ice planet Hoth. The sub-zero conditions forced the crew to contend with frostbite, avalanches, blizzards, whiteouts, and gale-force winds. All just to make a movie. Let's return.
Critics call it a startling blast of thrills, action, and imagination.
Real nice party, ain't it?
Rolling Stone calls it a visual marvel, a truly terrifying thrill ride. Sigourney Weaver is buffer and tougher than ever.
Thought you were dead.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And People magazine says Alien Resurrection rocks.
Was it everything you hoped for?
Must be a chick thing.
Alien Resurrection, rated R, now playing.
The news is getting around
You just dialed 10-321.
about a way to save over AT&T on every call within the U.S.
Dial 10321 from home, then make your call as usual.
and save 50% off all calls over 20 minutes.
It used to cost $10 to call my mom. Now it's $5.
Plus, get great international rates.
London.
No need to sign up. Just dial 10-3-2-1.
No wonder the word is spreading.
Today, people are out there doing, reaching beyond the norm, and no muscle ache, no headache will bring them down. Because today, we have an advanced medicine called Advil. Advil works fast, right at the site of body pain, stopping it where it starts. The relief is glorious. Headaches to muscle aches, Advil relieves all kinds of pain. Advil simply lets people do what they love to do.
I knew this would happen.
There's only one package left.
An innocent housewife trapped in her own home. She tried to keep the Pillsbury toaster strudel with cream cheese and strawberry a secret.
I know you have it,
She
Jane.
failed. The warm, flaky crust, the real cream cheese, the do-it-yourself icing.
I should have just given them Pop-Tarts.
She underestimated the power cream cheese has over people.
Get your own.
They're in your grocer's freezer. Back with another one of those block rockin' beats.
Who's throwing the hottest party of the year? You are. With MTV Party to Go 98.
Little Kim, Blackstreet, Drew Hill, Foxy Brown,
MTV Party to Go 98.
Aaliyah, 702, Dr. Dre, Julia, Genuine,
Special mixes you can't get on any other CD.
Backstreet Boys, Mark Morris, Chemical Brothers.
MTV Party to Go 98. The party's at your place.
It's happening everywhere. People are discovering Accolade for asthma. Accolade is a non-steroid pill you take daily in the morning and in the evening to help control asthma symptoms all day and while you sleep. If you use a rescue inhaler more than twice a week and are 12 or older, ask your doctor if adding Accolade to your current asthma therapy may help reduce your reliance on your inhaler and help give you more control. However, Accolade is not for acute asthma attacks. You can also call toll-free for an informative free booklet on Accolade and tips to prevent and control asthma symptoms. Accolade for asthma, because having more control can make a difference. Talk to your doctor if you are pregnant, nursing, taking blood thinners, or before changing your current asthma medicines. While on Accolade, there is a possibility of a rare but serious effect on your liver. Other side effects may include headache, infection, and nausea. To learn more, talk to your doctor or call. Discover Accolade for asthma.
Dreamers.
All of my stories that are worth anything are based on some sort of personal metaphor.
Innovators.
We scare people by not showing them what they're afraid of.
Pioneers.
Create artificial life, I think, is quite fascinating.
Creators.
5 shots into the show, you're not even thinking about the special effects.
Originators.
We're in the future. Virtual reality is here. Science fiction is here.
Visionaries.
I always want to do something that's ahead of what other people have done.
Masters. Meet the Masters of Fantasy every month on the SciFi Channel.
You're watching The Empire Strikes Back, and I'm your host, Billy D. Williams. The origin of how some of these characters connect is kind of fascinating. For instance, Han Solo's problem with Jabba the Hutt dates back to a time when he was a smuggler transporting stolen goods. The heroic Han dumped his stash into space. Jabba never forgave him for that, even hired mercenaries to finish Han once and for all. As for Chewbacca, his planet was overrun and enslaved, but Han freed the Wookiee and Chewie swore eternal brotherhood. Now more of The Empire Strikes Back, here on the Sci-Fi Channel. Hello, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Channel special presentation of The Empire Strikes Back. This film improved upon details from the original Star Wars at every turn. For example, the original Star Destroyer was lit from within by bundles of fiber optics, but the Executor in Empire had a more complicated internal neon lighting system, shining through an estimated 250,000 separate light portals. Details like these were designed, of course, for the motion picture screen. So to give audiences at home the full effect, the Sci-Fi Channel is exclusively running the letterboxed edition, preserving the integrity of the film. Watch closely. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams. Remember the card game that cost Lando Calrissian, played by yours truly, his prized Millennium Falcon? It's in Han Solo's possession now, and Lando would do just about anything to win, steal, snatch, or grab it back. Anything, that is, except to go another round with Han again. And now The Empire Strikes Back concludes, or does it? It's actually the first major cliffhanger ending ever seen in a motion picture of this caliber. Here on the Sci-Fi Channel. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for the conclusion of The Empire Strikes Back. Well, any doubt that there was going to be another sequel? Winner of a Special Achievement Award from the Academy for its stunning visuals, the landscapes of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back were now home to all of us. So with a nod to the serials and perhaps the soaps, Lucas ended what many considered to be his finest film yet with more unanswered questions than an algebra quiz. Was he preparing us for another chapter, or was he deliberately concluding his greatest film yet with the same sort of cliffhanger ending he loved as a kid? For the Sci-Fi Channel, I'm Billy D. Williams. May the Force be with you. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for The Return of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker, having undergone rigorous training since his adventures in The Empire Strikes Back, is now nearly a full-fledged Jedi. You see, George Lucas's goal for this third film in the Star Wars series was to combine the experiences of the two previous films into one supreme production, dazzling audiences beyond their expectations. Now here's more of Return of the Jedi, here on the Sci-Fi Channel. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for the Sci-Fi Channel's special presentation of Return of the Jedi. What George Lucas set out to make with this, the third film in the Star Wars series, was an event that would wow even die-hard fans. As our story continues, we find that Luke Skywalker, who you may remember from the original Star Wars, started out as somewhat of a youthful dreamer. But throughout the years, he's proved himself and is now nearly a full-fledged Jedi. Now here's more of Return of the Jedi. Stunningly visual, Return of the Jedi actually alienated some fans who didn't appreciate its gentler tone. Hardcore Star Wars fans liked hard-hitting science fiction films such as Alien and Terminator. But these films wouldn't have been made if not for the success of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. Jedi focused on characters and filled the screen with dozens of fantastic creatures created by Lucas's own master team at Industrial Light and Magic. By the time Jedi went into production, Industrial Light and Magic, or ILM as it is often called, had become the premier special effects production company. Let's get back to more of Return of the Jedi, here on the Sci-Fi Channel. Hi, I'm Billy D. Williams, and you're watching the Sci-Fi Channel special presentation of Return of the Jedi. Because the underground market had pirated so many Star Wars scripts and so much memorabilia, Lucas wanted absolute secrecy for the filming of Jedi. For the location work in Yuma, Arizona, the production crew used the fictitious title, Blue Harvest, to keep security tight. Even the special effects teams weren't told what they were working on in order to keep the media out and the mystery alive. Stay with us as we continue with Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi continues here on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm your host, Billy D. Williams. You may ask how actors can work with so many special effects, puppets, and models. Well, I was lucky to have been a part of Lucas's future world. To see that kind of brilliance at work was an incredible experience I'll never forget. Stay with us. I'm Billy D. Williams, and you're watching the Sci-Fi Channel special look at Return of the Jedi. I know that there are plenty of you out there that actually believe that the Imperial walkers can walk. Well, almost. The walkers were created as both 18-inch models and 3-foot models, which were filmed on a miniature forest set under natural sunlight. The speeder sequence has become a textbook example of optical mastery, compositing live actors on full-scale bikes with animated creatures. Lucas was often heard saying that if he couldn't get a shot accomplished on location, he'd have the matte department painted in later. We continue our journey with Return of the Jedi. Welcome back. I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for Return of the Jedi. The musical score for this, as well as the other 2 Star Wars films, was composed by none other than John Williams. This rich and textured score was recorded by the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Listen as we continue with more of Return of the Jedi. Hello, I'm Billy D. Williams, your host for the Sci-Fi Channel special presentation of Return of the Jedi. Our saga is just about over as we encounter some of the most complex effects shots in film history. You see, in the first Star Wars, a typical optical shot was done with maybe 30 to 40 separate elements. But in one of the final space battle scenes, the effects crew had to use more than 300 separate elements to create the depth and detail that was light years ahead of its predecessors. Let's continue with the conclusion of Return of the Jedi.